You know, you don't even have to tell me how this game mode came to existence. I already heard the story. John Madden kidnaps a random Valve employee on the street, the two shag in a back alley, and this would be the bastard child which they produced. And upon seeing its new parents, the little guy grew two little legs and ran as fast as it could before running right into the arms of Team Fortress 2, and thus I now have to review it as per protocol. Anytime TF2 ever gets rewarded with a new game mode, I like to remind myself that even if it's going to be amusing for at least a couple of minutes at first, the formula is going to grow stale very quickly, as it does not seem to have that exact same appeal as previous game modes already implemented into the game. You remember when Payload was new? I don't, because I wasn't playing Team Fortress 2 by then. But when Payload was new, it was definitely something, and a lot of the maps that have been added are almost completely timeless, and I'm almost beginning to accept the fact that even Borneo, the latest Payload map, has already become possibly one of my favorites ever added into the game. Maybe. That could be a lie. I don't know. But I accept the fact that it exists. The problem is, whenever you add a new game mode, you really have to keep it something that's more exciting and enthralling than a sort of reverse pseudo capture the flag. And I really hate to make that comparison right here, because this game mode is actually pretty unique, and as I said, probably amusing for the first couple of minutes, but I'm beginning to see why I would probably dislike it in the future. So I can only assume that the original plot established for Team Fortress 2 has been completely retconned, as now both the red and the blue team have decided to pit against each other in a very brutalesque football match. And, it really doesn't surprise me that sort of setup for a game such as this, but I can also see why I would not really enjoy this very much in the future. I know I repeated myself right there, but you're just gonna have to get past that fact. The point is, you have this really odd setup where the ball appears at the center of the map and it becomes neutral at that point. As soon as it drops in, you've got both teams that have to bring the ball over to the other player's goals. And to do this, all you have to do is just run with the ball. You are completely defenseless as soon as you pick up the ball. I mean, you do get probably a good 2-second speed boost as soon as you grab it, but you are at the risk of being shot by everyone. I guess the point is that you have to work with your teammates so that way you can pass the ball consecutively and then cover them from side to side, just as long as you can, keep the enemy distracted with your other teammates. And then sometimes there are people who really don't care about the fact that they have guns in this game, and eventually it just kind of revolves around, I'm just gonna run with the ball and hopefully not get shot for a while. No, I recognize the status of this game mode already. I'm gonna try and shoot you as much as possible, and you cannot stop me from trying to accomplish that. Engineers maybe even taunting at the center of the map trying to get rid of the ball using the Eureka effect. That doesn't work anymore, they patched that, although by the time I had this recorded, I don't think it was patched. But yeah, unsurprisingly enough, this game mode was exactly as broken as you would expect a new Valve game mode to be for this game. It's just inevitable. Now, to be fair, this game mode wasn't initially as broken as I originally perceived it to be, as I have yet to see players actually trying to wedge themselves in between two buildings to possibly achieve the goal of ending up on the outside of the map. It hasn't happened yet, but I can imagine it would fairly soon because, I'm just kind of getting random flashbacks to the one time where I ended up playing that other game mode, that which we shall not name, which appeared in the 2014 Smithmas update. I think it was 2014. Has it really been around that long anyway? However, my comparison of this game mode to Capture the Flag is actually very thinly veiled, because unlike Robot Destruction Asteroid, which is essentially a recolor of every Capture the Flag map in the game, this is actually surprisingly good of a map. It's very decent, it's very wide open, it's very easy to take out engineer buildings, those pesky little Texas men that love to run around, either sitting at spawn, building sentries in the backfield, hoping to accomplish absolutely nothing with their lives, or they might actually be doing something useful. Maybe they'll actually be moving that gear up, maybe they'll be placing teleporters in really sneaky locations only to have them destroyed a couple of minutes later, and get used to seeing that happen a lot because, well, this map is basically not designed in mind for engineers trying to move around and be sneaky because it's very easy to find teleporters. This map is just so open that even in the smallest nooks and crannies, you can just expect something to be there. And even if that's not the case, just always remember to expect the fact that there's going to be engineers in all likelihood sitting all the way back at spawn, building level 3 sentries, turtling next to dispensers, trying to be useful, but in reality they're just kind of making the game not fun by not allowing your team to score very easily. And that's the thing. If they just omitted Engineer from this game mode entirely, I probably wouldn't have much of an issue with it. And I suppose to be fair, it would also have to omit Medic, because apparently Medics can ubercharge players that are holding the ball, and that just kind of makes it a bit more of a cinch unless you have a pyro on your team to prevent that. In fact, if you were to modify this game mode entirely by banning medic and engineer, and then proceeding to remove both goals and the football, this would probably be the closest thing to Team Deathmatch that Team Fortress 2 will ever see. And to be honest, I don't mind that, because most of the time, whenever I was playing on this game mode, I just wanted to kill people, because I knew that in the end, by the time I actually reached the goal, there would probably be about 9 players pitted against me, and my only teammate to help me out would probably be a spy cloaking around trying to figure out how to work a sapper against an engineer building or something like that, I don't really know. Due to the fact that you actually require teamwork in order to successfully score a goal, I can safely say that I have a lot more fun just trying to work this map out as a team deathmatch. There are plenty of health kits to easily access, there are lots of ammo kits, I like the symmetrical style of it. It's a pretty good map. It even has those boost pads, which would normally be expected to be used for the purpose of scoring a goal, but I like to think of them more as just completely team accessible shortcuts, just that way you can go kill more people, and that's basically all I like to focus on right now at this point. And I don't think that's really getting into the spirit of things, but I don't care. I had a good time either way. You know, what the hell, I can't really say the same for other game modes that have been implemented into the game, but I would love to see two competitive teams duke it out in something like this in the allotted 10 minutes time after the ball was dropped, just to see how much chaos and calamity could occur before one team would score a goal. I don't know. It could happen, but it would probably only be used as a joke at this point, because I doubt the competitive players would really take this very seriously, just as much as they wouldn't take Capture the Flag very seriously. And again, I hate to draw that comparison, but this is basically a pseudo Capture the Flag. You're really just trying to bring a flag to a goal zone and get shot by a sentry about a million times. There's nothing else to be said about this whole thing. It's just a very odd game mode, which I don't expect to be updated very much in the future. And it's also in beta. This is one of the few times where a new game mode has been introduced into beta. Unlike that other game mode from 2014, end of Smith called Manpower, this one is sort of stuck in the same realm as Cactus Canyon, which I'm surprised hasn't been finalized, and Robot Destruction Asteroid, which I can only assume is going to be finalized fairly quickly, because I believe there are hints being dropped around of like boxes of crystals in some of the latest maps added to the game. I mean, I'm thankful that the other update, the Gunmetal update, actually existed, because we did get new maps which I wholeheartedly enjoy, but this update, I don't know what to think of it right now. All I can really say is that if it ever passes the beta development stage, it's probably going to be forgotten about very shortly thereafter, much like Special Delivery Doomsday, and possibly much like Robot Destruction. I don't really imagine Robot Destruction Asteroid to be trending in the future, so I'm gonna have to give a pass on that one too. Speaking of passing, I have neglected to even mention the name of this game mode. It's called Pastime. Wahahaha, because, get it? It's a pastime to play video games, and you pass the ball to other players, and anyway, you can go play it. It's in beta, and that's gonna be the end of this video. Before I leave, however, I would like to show off a little bit of a gift I received from a subscriber named Chilled Chaos, and he gifted me with this unusual hat. So I just want to say, Chilled Chaos, I really highly appreciate this donation. That is actually very kind of you. I'm genuinely surprised that you gave this to me. So once again, I would just like to say thank you so much, and thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day or evening, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.